Oh, there we go. I'm sitting on here talking shit. What's up to my dragon nigga? The dragon nigga that showed up. Yeah, man. We in this motherfucker, man. But what I was saying, I started off saying was, hopefully niggas know if you're coming over here, you didn't watch this YouTube channel. We're not talking about no goddamn esoteric meaning of Christmas. You should have already gotten that understanding. You know what I'm saying? From wherever the fuck you got it from. And there's multiple avenues of people who say what it is and what it ain't. I personally don't give a fuck what you think about Christmas. I mean, we got to get beyond that shit. Bobby Panic and fucking Phil Donahue have fucking, and also Dr. Phil Valentine has also broken that shit down. So we won't be talking about the deep hidden meaning of Christmas, but we will address motherfuckers who like to get on people's ass for celebrating it. Like, or could do you think, like, think about this, like, people really don't celebrate the birth of Christ anyway. You got people who like to say, well, Jesus didn't exist. Well, shit, technically, nigga, you as a human being, you don't exist. So fucking right, he didn't exist. Because you don't exist. And don't none of this shit exist if you taking that standpoint. Well, we're not really dealing with no shit like that, bro. We're not really dealing with trying to get the understanding of what Christmas really means. The sun goes down for 3 days and then rises back up on the 25th, and like, that's entry level shit. Nonetheless, that's the shit that you need to have to get to see, like, people get it misunderstood with me, or maybe I even put it out with the lack of explanation. Sometimes it will explain for what though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I can't forget the path that the so-called path that I took to be able to come to this point that I am so-called at. You know what I'm saying? Like, where the fuck did I really go? So that's why I say that. But some people don't get the understanding, or I don't put the understanding out that a nigga started from all of that, bro. I had to learn there was no letter J when during these times, or in the Hebrew language. So how could his name be Jesus? It had to be something else, or Yeshua, or whatever the fuck the case may be. And it's probably a new name out now. Like, they probably gave the nigga a new name. You know what I'm saying? So I can't forget that I come from understanding those things. You see what I'm saying? And understanding that why people call the holidays pagan and all of this and that. Like, we're not here to talk about that. We're gonna get here and get to the nitty gritty. We're gonna talk about the self, the I am. Because without that I am, without the self, without pure consciousness itself, without the knowledge itself, not knowledge of things and knowledge of concepts, but knowledge itself, that which is knowledge, which is consciousness, which is the self, that which knows all, which is the source of knowing. You cannot know one thing without knowing that I am. Here's the thing about it: spiritual people get so deep into concepts and feel that they're more advanced because they understand more concepts. You understand tarot better than the next person. You understand chakras better than the next person. You understand aura fields better than the next person. You understand the ancient DNA more than the next person. You understand astrology better than the next person. You understand whatever the fuck better than the next person. And this is how the ego seeps through everything, right? And that's not to say you don't understand those things better than the next person. Obviously, you can, people do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know astrology worth for shit. I got to go to my friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to go to Narisi if I want to learn some shit about astrology. Shit, even Trav, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying here is the ego likes to seep in upon human beings, and because we feel like we know more than the next person, we think that makes us more advanced, when the most advanced shit is what I'm trying to say here is what everybody has a parent right there with them from the birth, so-called birth of the body, to the so-called end birth of the body. And even after. So I'm saying. It's the knowing that I exist or that I am. So this I am is the greatest gift under the tree. Some may be looking for some existential or some very profound, deep and detailed concepts, deep and detailed hidden reality that everybody else can't see. Oh, I'm psychic, I can understand this, and I can do telekinesis, and I can do this, and I can do that, and we're the chosen ones. It comes with that chosen one mentality. Comes with that chosen one mentality. Am I coming through clear? Hold on. Hold up. So once we get past that level, or some never get past that level, and it's very apparent why we don't get past that level. Because you go past any of those type of levels, you have to come into a realization like, is all this shit bullshit? And I'm talking about all the spiritual shit. Is all this shit bullshit? And when and bullshit is useful, right? That's what I was talking about at the beginning, because we have to learn all of these things to get to a point. We seem to, let's say that it appears to that we have to learn all of these things. But you're eventually gonna have to erase all of that shit for you to get down to the nitty motherfucking gritty. The nitty gritty is, who the fuck am I? That's what we've been talking about over here. Who the fuck am I? Does anybody know who the fuck they are? No, the real raw. Not me as the black man, not me as the black woman, not me as the god, not me as the occultist, not me as the ritualistic motherfucker, the tantric doing motherfucker, the astrologist and what's the name knowing motherfuckers. Not me as that. That's only an appearance. That is temporary. But the real deal, who and what would know who the fuck am I? How do I figure out who the fuck I really am when it's already apparent? Because when you say I am, and then anything that comes after that, you're going to keep hearing a whole bunch of repeated phrases here for a reason. I am, or I, and then am, or just I. And we're not talking about the ego sense of I, because it's tricky. It can go in there, hop out, as it will. But who the fuck is that I? Because anything after that is an add-on. What are add-ons? Add-ons eventually come the fuck off. They eventually dissolve back into the what? The base. Whatever the base that's being used here. You get where I'm going with this? Whatever the base is that's being used here, whatever we add on to after I am has to dissolve. And yes, you don't walk around saying, oh, I am this, and I am that, I am this. No, it's the sense, it's the knowing. When I say sense, like intuitive knowing about who the fuck you are. And it's very fucking apparent. And it has no details. It has no name. We give it names. They even say the real name is, my first name is I. Because that's what we say. Oh, me? Oh, I don't do that. I don't say that. I know this and I know that. Who is I? My name may not be Noe Pop or Minosis, or whatever the fuck my family and friends call me. Your name is not James, Jessica, and Jerry. On the first name basis, you go back to this I amness. We know a lot of shit, but we do not know who the fuck the I am is. So what's happening here is everything is being filled up with a whole bunch of concepts, we're decorating the tree. We're decorating the tree. We're spending all the time on the tree, but the major thing here is what's up under the tree. The gift is what's hidden. Think about how, you know what I'm saying, when you hide the gifts from your kids. It's what's hidden. The major gift here is the I am. And I have to do nothing to get it. Listen, I have to do nothing to get it. Maybe there needs to be something to be done to realize it. But I have to do nothing to get it. It don't matter if Santa thought I was naughty or nice. It's here. It's now. It's apparent. But the ego, the mind, the intellect wraps us up in a whole bunch of concepts. Like on today, you get, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of spiritual people who think they're better than the next person because they understand that Jesus is not real. And so other people are gonna say, well, hey, this is a pagan holiday. And then you got other people who's gonna say, well, Santa Claus going down the chimney actually represented the chakras, which I first heard from Bobby Hemmett. And then you got other people who gonna say, well, there's actually the demon this and that represents, that's tied into the pine trees, that really means this and really means that, and that's really this. Then you're gonna say it's really about the rising of Christ consciousness, or then you really can say it's about the 21st of December, where the sun goes down for 3 days and then rises again. Rose of Flame, peace, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. What's happening? Damn, they didn't change the font to make it thicker. Okay. And I will say this. What do I think? All of that knowledge is true. And all of that knowledge is false. Why? How could I say all of that knowledge is false? What do you mean it's false? Because you can only get it in the world of appearances. The hall of mirrors. The hall of mirrors, man. You can only get this type of knowledge in the hall of mirrors. So we get caught up in what we see and understand in the hall of mirrors and forget totally who is that who is observing the fucking hall of mirrors. That's the real knowledge. That's the real knower. So we can go deep and grab a whole bunch of wisdom inside the hall of mirrors. Maybe, obviously, that's what magic is. You can navigate through the hall of mirrors better, which is very useful. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't forget where I come from. But I also won't dismiss where I'm at. And where I'm at is where I've always been, at the I am, at the self. And miss the whole point and believe what reaffirms their world view, not what it actually legit. Facts. And Merry Christmas to you too, my brother. Rose the Flame. Merry Christmas, my brother. Merry Christmas. So, and what he just said, see, that's the thing about it. See, you come to this, you got to understand, you got to see the world as it is. When you see it as it is, you're going to see that it's nothing but fucking patterns. And the mind putting shit together and making patterns into something special. It makes it special. It gives it meaning. And people don't want to accept that because you gotta take that thesis and plug it into everything. But see, you don't have to go so deep. See, that's what we get caught up in, right? Because we get caught up in trying to plug and play into everything and get a breakdown of everything. When the whole thing of knowledge of self comes into understanding using that generic term, right? You come into understanding saying, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So if I'm not this body and I'm not this mind, oh, okay, I'm not, oh, do I have to go through and say, oh, I'm not this tree, I'm not this microphone, I'm not this vape, I'm not this glass, I'm not this cup, I'm not the car keys. You don't have to go into it like that. Do you need to break it down like that? Some people will, because that's what science is. Science wants to do that intellectual shit like that and try to go through it. But it's going to be very fucking apparent that if I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm obviously not this fucking chair. For the first step, we got to remember this is the first step. It doesn't mean treat the body like trash and treat the mind like trash. You have to understand on the first levels, on the entry step. As soon as you step into the building, you have to understand what you are not to understand who you are. Then you figure out you are all of this. But all of this in appearance is nothing but transitory shit. So no matter what you know inside of this transitory appearance illusionary world, it's all false knowledge. Because the very source of that knowledge, it has to be the knower of the knowledge, of the so-called transitory knowledge. The A plus B equals C. The 1 plus 2 equals 3. The etheric plane, the astral plane, the causal plane, the mental plane, the what's the name plane, and knowing how all of those function, they all have to exist inside of this cosmic principle. They all have to exist inside of this self. But here's the thing. We get caught up in knowing those things and not knowing the knower of those things. We get caught up in meditating on a thing and not knowing the meditator who's meditating. Now, we don't think along those lines. We don't think along those lines. But along those lines is the very source of what you've been looking for. And is the very source of what you are. It was never anything else. But we have to understand. Here's a paradox. Because what else is there to do but for the nothingness to become something, or the nothingness to become everything? But what's true is there always this nothingness back here. There is a state of no knowing before you come into knowing, right or wrong. You have to not know before you know. You have to not know before you know. This is simple. I did not know and now I know. This is the mysteries of the self. This is the mysteries of I am. Let me read the Rose of Flame saying that Maharashi says, though it really is a supreme rare type that can truly get it right away. Everyone else needs to take the journey to at least some degree. Facts though. And that's why we keep pushing this shit here. We have to keep pushing. We don't have to do shit, but we have to keep pushing this shit here. Because you really have to take that time. Because I know we all think we superior because the regular everyday folks don't know this shit. But the truth is, yeah, they don't know more shit than us. Cool. So what? You know more shit. I know more shit. So what? Okay, cool. Now what? But that same I am is their very base as well. Once you find out everybody has the same I am, there is no separation. All individuals are an illusion. And then it can't be no individuals if you understand the 5 fucking elements. Everybody's a mixture of these fucking 5 elements. And they're the same fucking 5 elements. So what's the difference? If I take this cup of water and pour it into another cup of water and then pour a little bit of that into another cup of water, Of course, I'm gonna say, and hand out 3 cups of water. Of course, I'm gonna say this is my cup of water. That's your cup of water, and that's his cup of water. But what's the real factor here? It's the same fucking water. You niggas want to make it different. Not even just you as a nigga, just as a human being, period. That's how experiences can happen. Do you get how the nothingness, the non knowing state, the great darkness, the great not knowing nothing shit, pure, filtered out of all concepts? The only way that that thing can be anything is by becoming everything. And coming under the guise of this is separate, that is this, and that is this, and that is that. That's false knowledge. So you cannot even have what we call knowledge in this world without separation. There has to be separation. So what does that mean? The words that I'm saying to you are false because they exist in duality. There has to be a separation. Look at this line from the sun. Do you think this is a different sun line and this is different sun and that's a different sun and that's a different sun? It's the same fucking sun. It's the same sun. It's the same light. I'm trying to get you to recognize this on this Christ consciousness Eve, brothers. What did he say? But also people who haven't taken the journey love to talk like they are on a master's level and even make TikToks and courses about it like they don't stick out like a sore thumb. Facts, bro. And you know, and that's going and because I say, hey, we live in an age of the intellect, artificial intellect, right? So the intellect is the ruler of this age. Check this out. Even Maharaj got to talking about his own people in India and how they move. And the way that they're moving is based off of a strong sense of intellect. That's why everybody over there is about money and getting into IT. He said he likes the Westerner. Maharaj said this himself. I like the Westerner because they have already had the money. At least the Westerners that come to see him. The Westerners have already had the money and had the this and had this and that, and they found out they can't get no joy and no happiness from that. They can't get no eternal peace from that. So they're looking for something else. He said it's going to come back. He said it'll come back around in a cycle where the Indian people will, his people, whatever. But it comes around in this cycle. Is what we like to say as human beings. We've notified, we've recognized cycles around this bitch, which some call it a breath of Brahman or whatever the fuck it is in Egyptian pantheon. Was Ra on his sun boat. So we live in this age of intellect where it's like, let's put this together, let's put a course together, let's put this together. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that, but speaking to what Rose of Flame is saying, I agree. It's like that motherfuckers come out like they super duper gurus, and then they say, it's a fucking cult started, you know what I'm saying, just to make some goddamn money. And then saying, the human, you can't blame a human because they get drunk off of power. When people start liking you enough and people start asking you enough and wanting your assistance and your help, human beings tend to take advantage of other human beings. You get drunk off of that power. Everybody likes you. The girlies like you, or the men like you if you're a woman. Everybody's in your DM. Everybody's trying to do this and do that. Money's flowing. It's very easy for the human ego to get caught into that. And a cult can start. And this thing, shit comes out about sexual predatory nature of people, you know what I'm saying, doing what the fuck they do. Me personally, I don't give a fuck to judge. I just see to observe because I've observed the patterns enough. Now that I've observed the patterns enough, that's all the fucking world is. You can say P. Diddy's worse than, I'm better than P. Diddy because I haven't done any of that. You can say you're better than Nicki Minaj because she's talking to Charlie Kirk's wife or whatever the fuck ever. You can say you're better than so and so, so and so, so and so. But oh, how do we forget that every level of human existence is all about manipulation? Parents manipulate their child to get their child to do what they want them to do. Children manipulate their parent to get them to do what they want to do. Animals manipulate their owner to get them to do what they want to do. Animals manipulate other animals to get them to be their fucking food. That's the nature of this bitch. That's the nature of this bitch. Prakriti manipulates Purusha, so-called. Or use whatever, Shakti manipulates goddamn Shiva. Put that dance on. And they dancing. Who was that for? Whoever the fuck that was really for. Some people get it, some people don't. I don't know what to tell me. But it's an age of Daf, knowledge, but without Bina, understanding, leading to Hokmah, wisdom. Right? Age of knowledge, but without Bina, understanding, leading to Hokmah, wisdom. Pay attention to the times, pay attention to the patterns. You have to, or you don't have to. Because if you focus on the I am, you will get it. And then the patterns will reveal themselves to you. That's what I'm saying. Like, this spiritual shit really ain't that deep. It's only deep if you keep going deeper, and you're going to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into concepts. You only need to, that's why the main thing I always say, if you understand the mind, you understand all of this shit. You can't have spiritual knowledge without a mind. Let's get that. If you that's what I'm saying. You don't have to say, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not that. If you understand, first of all, can I have any spiritual knowledge? Can I have any spiritual knowledge? Can I even know who God is without having a mind? Can I know about any god, demon, ritual, spell, tree of life, goddamn Ifa, goddamn Palo, goddamn Hindu? Can I have any knowledge? Can I have any meditative experience? If I do not have a fucking mind, can I have any of all that spiritual shit if I don't have a mind? No, I cannot. Okay, so what the fuck is this mind thing? If I can't have none of this knowledge about all this profound shit without a mind, what's the source of the mind? You can say, okay, what is the mind? And then what is the source of the mind? I can't even know my body if I do not have a fucking mind. No one's thinking along those lines. No one's thinking along those lines. This body and this mind is useful for the nothingness to have an experience. But I can't know any profound spiritual shit without a mind. So what is the mind and what is its function? We know that it deletes, distorts, and generalizes fucking information. If you understand that, then what the fuck? Apply that to everything else, spiritual knowledge based or worldly knowledge based. Shit, they damn near one and the same. Because without the so-called world, what would humans be to have spiritual knowledge? So if I can understand the mind and the principle of the mind of air, water, fire, earth, and goddamn Akasha, then I understand what Akasha or ether or earth, water, air, fire, taste, touch, smell, see. All the senses are linked to that. If I know I can't get no knowledge without those, what the fuck are those? What are those? If I know that, bro, if you know that, bro, then you understand all of the gods Everyone from every fucking system are nothing but aspects of the mind. Then it would make sense that in all spiritual systems, I would go back to, do they have a source of one God? Let's see the source of their one God. And they one God comes from nothing, or creates everything from itself out of nothing. What is that? Because I've already understood the factions of the mind now. I know that it generalizes, deletes, and distorts. And it has intellect, it has the analytical process, and it has memory, and it has the ahankara, the ego, and it has the intellect. I understand those things, and I understand the functions of those things. You can go deeper into that. I wouldn't say go too deep, but I would say go deep enough to get an understanding. And now that I have the understanding, it's very fucking apparent that I can't be swayed by any spiritual teacher telling me some shit. All I see is fucking concepts. But those concepts can be useful in this conceptual world. I will not deny that. But the most useful thing, matter of fact, the only thing that is of any use is the sense of I am. I have to exist before I can know a concept to be used in this world, to navigate this world. I have to know that I exist first, or I have to exist first. So now we understand the factions of the mind. We have to understand the source of that mind. And it's very apparent. You know the mind. It's not you have to go take a test to figure out if you know the mind. You don't have to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist to know the mind. You don't have to know philosophy to know the mind. Since your so-called human birth, you have been the knower of this mind. You have been the observer of your mind. This shit is simple. And you were like, yeah, that is real, but it's true, bro. But what kind of spirit can I use? Because I got this going on and this going on. So what spirit can I use? It's not for that type of person. Or maybe that person will circle back around and see that's what it is. But yeah, man, but Jupiter is in Aquarius, so we got to do this and then do that. I ain't got to do a goddamn thing. And you don't neither. Because the happening is happening. We as human beings grasp everything about some shit outwardly. Even if we say, oh, well, the planets really exist inside of us. What does that mean? Do you think it means literally inside of your body? No. On one level, it exists purely inside of your mind, nigga. Two, the mind itself exists inside of consciousness. That's you observing the mind. So if you are observing the mind, who all these gods are based off, who all of these planets are based off, why the fuck would you go straight to the source? It's like the middleman, the mind, the middleman can't stop you. It's gonna try by giving you more concepts, but even in its trying, it's still revealing that you are the observer of the mind. This shit is just so fucking apparent, bro. Like it's no mystical system to go through. There's no Illuminati system to go through. There's no initiation to go through. You are the initiator of the mind. You gave the mind its existence. I don't know where everybody at today, but hey, I just came in and drop in and say this. This is the type of shit you got to really realize. This is why I say, oh, this is the end of the spiritual journey. This is the greatest gift under the fucking tree. It's hidden in plain sight. We just taking too much time trying to decorate the tree, the ego. You're trying to decorate the tree with a whole bunch of knowledgeable shit. By all means, keep getting all of that shit. I'm just trying to let you know that you are none of that shit. All of that shit needs you to exist for it to exist. We always say this: everybody does not have the same spiritual experiences, let alone some people don't have any profound spiritual experiences. So anybody can deny if if fucking Lilith exists. Anybody can deny if fucking Bina is real. Anybody can deny Ganesha. Anybody can deny Allah. Anybody can deny Jesus. Anybody can deny La Santissa Sancta Muerte or Papa Legba. Anybody can deny all of that shit. People can deny that Jupiter is a real planet that's out there. People can deny if the world is round or flat. Yes, people can deny if fucking Trump is the Antichrist or AI is the fucking Antichrist or AI is the fucking savior. People can deny if black people are the original inhabitants of the Americas. Either way. But what people cannot deny is the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep state. We understand the waking state. Everything that's around us, the five senses turn outward, grasping so-called information or data from the things that's outwardly, transmitting it back to the brain or the mind. And the mind puts it together and tells you what it perceives. Then everybody has that experience, right? And then everybody has a dreaming experience where they go inside of their dreams. The next thing you know, their senses are turned inward. The mind is turned inward, and their mind creates the world there. There's a similarity there. What's the difference between the waking and the dream world? The mind is creating the world. On the outside world, that must mean the outside world, all that data and information gathered through the five senses, going back to the mind and the mind spitting it back out and telling me what it is I'm sensing. That must mean the mind is creating the fucking outside world as well. You don't need a fucking doctrine. You don't need to be up under a fucking guru for 30 years. It's here. I'm just saying to get that point. And then you got the deep sleep state. Everybody goes into that dreamless sleep state where they're not, no senses exist. Your five senses you're not using. You're worried about your mama, your daddy, your sister, your cousin, your brother. How you gonna pay the bills? What you gonna eat? How many times you can beat your meat? None of that shit is there. No dreams are there. You're not flying around in the dreams with angel wings and demons and having astral sex. You're not having it. That's not happening. You're not even saying you have no sense of my name, or I'm a body, or I'm a god, I'm a demon. You have no sense of none of that in a deep sleep state. Everybody has those three states, but who is that who knows all three of those states? That's the I am. So one can deny all of those mystical experiences and worldly experiences. One can even say, oh, you only had that mystical experience because you got a fucking hemorrhage in your brain. That's why you're seeing spirits and hearing spirits. Intellectual doctors can tell you all of that shit. But every last one of those has those three experiences, which means nobody can deny the I. Nobody can deny their own existence. You have to exist to deny your own existence. And that I is existence itself. Everything comes out of the I. Everything comes out of the one or the zero if you want to, but everything comes out of the one. One has to exist for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to exist. This is the knowledge of I am, the most apparent knowledge there is. We ain't got too many people active in the chat today, so I thought people was gonna be at the crib and want to chit chat. Not too many people showed up today, but this needed to be delivered. Let's see here. I'll start this off with a quote. I end this with a quote from Maharaj. Maharaj says, "You want knowledge of the world, but you ignore the basic fact. First, you must know that you are. You want all this knowledge of the world. You got all this knowledge of every word that ever existed millennia ago and to come. You got all of that shit, or you want to achieve all of that shit, but you ignore the most basic fact that you are, that you exist. And you have to understand that I am is the beginning and the end of all knowledge. All knowledge has to exist within and end within I am. That's why I keep telling you the beginning of knowledge, the beginning of your spiritual journey is I am. The end of your spiritual journey is I am. Knowledge of the self, know the self. So whatever you learn, you're going to end up having to forget it and let it go and come back to the I amness. To I exist. That's it. So here's a so-called group of people who just figured out, oh, that's all, that's it. That's all, that's it. That's it, that's all. So thank the I amness for fucking occultism. Because occultism grasped all this shit from here and there and here and there and here. Said, fuck that, we using all these niggas shit. We finna use all these niggas shit. That's why you get into the occultism and you see a conglomerate of Hindu, Egyptian, fucking witchcraft and fucking Christianity, fucking maybe even found some Islam, some Mohammedism up in there. You may find some of all of that shit up in there. Perfect. Because now a nigga ain't gotta go everywhere. And if I want to check sources, yeah. Because you know what I'm saying? That's my intellectual mind. I'm telling you what I did. By introductory of fucking Bobby Hemmett, and then Brother Panic, and then Phil Valentine. Then all simultaneously, those three. Even give you the history of the people who put this shit in books. Aleister Crowley, Dion Forger, McGregor Mathers. Then you go see and look for yourself and see why all that information is. They're using the same signs and symbols from the ancient times. Don Tree, peace. What's happening, my dog? All right, I keep it going if y'all in the motherfucking chat, niggas. But the occult helped me understand, bro. This is why I always tell y'all, bro. We get caught up in what the teacher is saying and not how the teacher even developed to be able to say the shit that they're saying. What state must their mind, what realizations, what understandings, what knowings must they have had to have this understanding? What must they have put together? Because what they're saying can't be all that they know or all that they have realized. Why would I say that? Because look at the state of the world. Everybody can't accept shit. Certain shit you just don't say. Or you only say to a select few, like when we read in the Gospel of Thomas. Only a select few. And even out of those 12 disciples, he can only pull one to the side. He can only pull Thomas to the side and let Thomas know the real shit. And Thomas said, hey, I can't tell you niggas. Because before I even finish my sentence, you niggas gonna pick them rocks up and stone me to death. And before those rocks hit the ground, goddamn it, those rocks will be burning you. You can't tell the niggas every goddamn thing, because niggas don't know how to take it. Nigga take it, run with it, think it's something else, and ain't got a full understanding, ain't set with it. You ain't set with it. So that's why you can get inside of this shit, or you can watch a Bobby Hemmett Brother Panic, or you can listen to or read a Maharaj book or Maharashi book, and they shit be so contradictory. Be like, what the fuck? That's because you have lacked understanding. You haven't got this shit yet. You ain't got this shit yet because you want the truth to be. When truth ultimately is false in the realms of what we call truth. Because the realm of what we call truth, we trying to break pieces of all knowledge and put it together. And when you're going to understand, that shit is ever shifting based upon the perceiver, the mental perceiver, and based upon who it's being directed towards. So if I'm telling, I can't sit here and tell a 6-year-old this information in the same way that I can tell you niggas who have done spiritual practices, who've done spiritual studies, who've done spiritual work. I can't tell it to the same person as that. So I got to say, no, baby, it's like the apple. The apple has a seed, and without that seed, there could never be any apples. So the seed has to be the first base principle. No, I'm not saying this is that. I'm saying the seed. And the only way that she can get it is if I keep reminding her, remember, baby, the apple seed. Remember, baby, the apple seed. So if one misinterprets that, one may take that and start worshiping fucking apples and seeds. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, bitch, y'all. Right, but I am the eternal self, a cosmic blend of concepts. Soup. Damn, if I can highlight it, there you go. Release and remember facts, because you're gonna have to let all of that shit go, even if you don't want to. Want me to tell you how I know? Because the older you get, the more feeble your fucking mind gets. So all this shit that you learned, you're gonna end up having to forget. People be bringing up spiritual concepts, and I be forgetting about the pineal gland and fucking melanin, and like I be forgetting about that shit. What this color really means and how it activates this, and a lot of shit I be forgetting about. But it's good to know what it is if it's useful and needed right then and there. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to remember a whole bunch of concepts no more. As you can see, for those that have been following this YouTube channel for, have I been doing this 2 years or 1 year? My shit has changed. But in essence, I noticed it didn't change. I was always breaking down the patterns and showing you, like, look, it ain't that deep. One, one, two, one, one. It ain't that deep. One, 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 one. It ain't that deep. One, 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 one. It ain't that deep. Watch all my shit. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. My response: I got Archangel Mikey statue with him slaying a dragon, one with the sword on his hip and surrendering, and Kuan Yin riding the dragon. I'm observing and supporting. Oh, okay, that's your response to when I say ain't nobody sitting here watching, ain't nobody in here watching what's the name. See, and then the thing about it is like, nigga, like y'all know how I rock. I got my, yeah, you know, Just for those who tune in and who don't know, I got my nigga. I got my, they symbols, and I understand what the symbols represent. But here's the thing. People take these symbols and think now that they understand these symbols, they're more superior because you don't understand the symbol. Well, nigga, the symbol is only a symbol. The symbol only points to something. Just like words are symbols. Words only point to something. Have you noticed how words are actually not the direct description of the thing that it's trying to represent? That's why they're only pointers. They're only pointers. Symbols are only pointers. When some people think they have understood the ultimate reality by symbols, you have not. Symbols are false. By the very nature, there has to be a knower of the symbol. There has to be an observer of the symbol. Because what are spirits? What are gods? They are patterns of the 5 elemental play, regardless of what you say. There are patterns of the 5 elemental play. And what is a magician? He understands the patterns of the 5 elemental play and uses it for his benefit. That's it. You don't have to force nothing. You understand this is the way this pattern is flowing. So, okay, I'm going to put more energy and focus on the way that this pattern is flowing for my benefit. But once you understand that it's nothing but patterns and plays of patterns, patterns and patterns and patterns and patterns and patterns, some people can go deep. That's why a lot of people lose their shit. Because they get to learning more patterns about that pattern that was a pattern. And then that pattern had this pattern. So I got this pattern or that pattern. Nigga, that's how Maya keeps your ass. Maya is ever producing patterns. She's the pattern builder. Prakriti is the pattern builder. Bina is the pattern builder. Peace, Zero. What's happening, Captain? What's happening? Zero, the Mexico hero. Much love and blessing to everyone and happy holidays. Happy holidays, my brother. Happy motherfucking holidays, P. Going against the flow will literally cause suffering due to the attachment. So once you get to understanding the patterns, you understand the flow of this motherfucker. And that's what Maharaj says when he says you think you're doing something. You're doing nothing. Nature is the doer. The flow is already flowing. When they say you, we're talking about you as the person who identifies themselves as a man or a woman or whatever gender you want to identify as. You think you're doing something. The intellect makes you think you're doing something. But if we understand that the mind is already preconditioned. We understand that the effect is already pre-packaged in the cause. The tree is in the table, but the table is not in the tree. What do I mean by that? Let's break this down. If you see a table, a wooden table, you know that there's wood in it. Okay, let's put it like this. If you see a wooden table, you know that the base principle of that table is the tree or wood. But when you see a tree or wood, that does not make it a table. But that tree can be a wooden pencil. That tree can be a fucking a place of abode for squirrels. That tree can be a fucking book holder. That tree can be a piece of paper. But the tree cannot be a fucking chocolate milkshake. Am I making sense? The effect is already pre-packaged in the cause. You think you're doing something. You have to think you're doing something. That's the way the illusion keeps going. That's how Maya keeps this shit going. That's how Prakriti, that's how Bina, that's how Shakti keeps this shit going. Why are we not thinking along these lines? When you understand patterns, you work better. Everything in magic because you are not attached anymore, even to the results. Facts. The MG, I spotted the MG logo in the sky here. Where? I'm missing something, ain't I? But peace to you, brother. Peace to you. Peace to you. What's happening? What's happening? Play the game, but not be played by the game. See, and that's the thing about it, right? The game is going to continue to play. And that's when we understand. You know how motherfuckers be like, this the dice that was rolled for me? You're going to understand this so-called character you call Minosis, or this so-called character that you call Zero, this so-called character that you call Ascension Ave or Don Tree, this so-called character that you call Rose of Flame, this so-called character you call Bobby Him and Brother Panic. The play is going to be played out regardless, buddy. Nature is going to make sure the play still happens, whether you have knowledge of self or not. The play is going to play. Your only objective is, matter of fact, that's the problem. You're trying to make, and this is why it's hard to grasp that we are the self, because we're trying to make the self an object when it's the subject. It's the knower of all objects. Your life is an object. The concept of your life, your personal life, is an object to the observer, the knower, the drashta, the sakshi, the purusha, the Brahmin, the Gyani, the cosmic P. All of this is an object to it. So the thing here is to know that you are not CJ from San Andreas inside of San Andreas playing the game. Yes, the game is still going to get played. Yes, the game is still getting played. Playing of the game is still happening. But you know that that is not you. But you also know now that this game does not exist without you, the knower, the consciousness, the source, the heart of this shit. Right here. Nature is the fucking doer. And Ascension Ave was saying it's inevitable. The game, right? It's inevitable. It's gonna play the fuck out. But your attachment is not the same to it. Let the mind and body do what it's going to do. The mind is going to intellectually figure out how to pay its fucking bills. The mind is intellectually going to figure out how to drive the car. The mind is intellectually going to figure out. It's going to do that based upon its configuration of the 5 elements. Some can say that's your astrology. Rock out with it. So that body is going to handle it. That body and mind is going to handle it like a Taurus, going to handle it like a Gemini, going to handle it like a Cancer, going to handle it like an Aquarius. So once you start to see that the self is the source of all of this, even the people that seem to be outside of you, then you know that all those people are you, the self. You're not going to have to question how to treat people. You're not going to have to question how to respond. Let it gradually, you realize this type of shit. Go back and watch our other videos. We go through that type of shit. This is just a meet and greet for those who may not know, who've never been here before. Damn. You're not doing anything, not becoming anything, just remembering who you are, who you have always been, which is the eternal self, pure consciousness. Straight like that. On the CDs, on the CD disc of GTA, everything you could cost, bro, right there. Perfect example, Don Tree. So on a CD disc of GTA, everything you can possibly do exists within that disc. Egotistically, you're doing something you've never seen before. Will have you believe you doing something new. Man, if I had the goddamn and I hit that horn, Don Tree. That's it. Everything that you could possibly do and ever be done. Everything that character can possibly do and ever be done is contained inside of that CD-ROM. That's it. That's fucking it right there. But the ego, that Yalla broth, that intellect, likes to think it's in control. It likes to think it's in control, homie. It's already done dawdle, bro. So what does that mean? The so-called outer worldly universe, everything that can possibly happen is already contained within that universe. Everything that can possibly happen every effect that can possibly happen is already contained within it. So in that seed of consciousness, everything that can possibly ever happen, that it can ever observe, that can ever come into existence is already contained within it. So what the fuck do you think you're doing? What the fuck is your problem being mad about AI? What is your problem being fearful of what AI will do to you? Oh yeah. Rosa Flames told me he was going back watching some older videos, bro. He come and he said, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. That horn is fucking obnoxious. Or some shit like that. He said, man, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but that fucking horn makes it harder hearing and listening. So no more horn, y'all. No more horn. Rosa Flame said that horn is annoying in the motherfucker. It's just too loud. So whenever I decide to use it again, I make sure that shit turned down, bro. Hey, I'm reading the comments, bro. I was in fucking tears, bro. I was in tears. I'm driving. I should have been driving, checking my damn what's the name. Where you put that shit, I'm laughing like a motherfucker. Because he went back to the Advaita Makaranda, the nectar of non-duality. He was going back, you know what I'm saying? I'm assuming just doing his recaps or study of the whatnot, and he put that shit on there, boy. I was in tears, bro. I said, hey. I said, all right, my brother, no more horns. No more horns. I got you, bro. No more horns. That man had me in tears, bro. He said, Rosa Flame said, I'm not scared of AI. I'm more nervous of it making people even more lazy and full of false sense of genius. Woo. And then let's look at that, right? So what is that? Like, let's play in the realm of the imagination. What is that actually going to create? Let's try to, because that's all it's going to be, our imagination. Let's try to imagine what the effects of that could be. Because if everything that can ever exist inside of this existence already exists here, meaning every experience, every ups and downs, what will that create? What could possibly come from that? That people become so lazy and think because that's what I'm saying. We're in the age of artificial intellect. Yeah, it's just a meaning I gave to it, right? My intellect came up with that meaning. But the age of this artificial intellect, right? If it makes us lazy and human beings stop producing, what does that mean? Does that mean this phase of human existence is a done data? Is wearing itself thin? Is running itself dry? Because I remember I used to say some shit back then when I first started the YouTube about like, there's a changing or diminishing of something once we get a whole bunch of extremities. Everybody's extremely left hand or extremely right wing or left wing. Everybody's extremely racist or everybody's extremely straight, gay, bi, or the sexuality, or everybody's extremely spiritual, everybody's extremely get money, everybody's extremely artificial intelligence, everybody's extremely fearful. Anything that's extreme has no choice but to wear down and wither out. What if this is the end for so-called meat wagons, aka human beings? We're just withering ourselves out. And the intellect ultimately brings the destruction. It's too complex. The overly complex shit is gonna have to break. That's why I keep telling you, overly abstract spiritual concepts, they're ultimately gonna do nothing but fuck your head up and fill your head up with more shit. And that head you're gonna have to let go of all of that shit eventually, or it's eventually gonna break your ass the fuck down. You said you're a good sport. I'm just trying to be real. Like the dude who was in Gospel of Thomas talking about, he wrote a book on Gnosticism. Yeah, you had to write. Oh yeah, the dude who was commenting on the live stream. Yeah. The Jesus freak. I forgot his name. Just call him the Jesus freak. No, facts. And you spotted that out that he was writing from Chat GPT. You spotted that shit out. Creativity is rare in humans. Non-creative people using AI equals slop. I mean, hey man, hey y'all, hey, or my homie with his research papers. Like you hit copy paste, fam, and it's obvious, and it's still wrong. It's obvious you hit copy and paste. No originality from that shit. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. Why is this here though, y'all? Who is that? Who is that? Who is there to say that that's not creativity? Who is here to say that? Because once we get into the age of the self, what do they talk about? Check this out. The age of no mind. Well, they didn't say the age of, but no mind is the concept when you get into non-duality. No mind. You need the mind to be creative. You need the mind to do a research paper. You need the mind to do this and you need the mind to do that. We're talking about the age of no mind. Because when you ultimately find out the mind doesn't even fucking exist, it's like a phantom ghost. Yeah, are you niggas hearing me? We gotta contemplate on it. Oh, we don't. We really don't. It don't really fucking matter ultimately when we talking about nothing. But anyway, think about that. Because we're talking about no mind. The mind is an appearance. It's transitory. It appears and disappears, appears and disappears, appears and disappears. So maybe the withering out of the mind may be the way that it's supposed to be going. How can I say that? Because that's the way that this shit is already going. That doesn't mean, God damn it, whatever, man. I can't even think about what I was finna say something about the mind. But I'm just saying. The key to all this is releasing. See, releasing there. Even releasing. You know what I'm saying? Like releasing the concept that using AI may not be creative. What if it is? Because what I'm gonna tell you what we sound like, human beings in general, what we sound like when we say about AI doing this and AI doing that, and people not doing this and people not doing that, and letting AI do this, what we sound like is the old folks who said back in my day. Back in my day, we had to, when cars came out, back in my day, boy, we had to ride a horse. And now cars in. And then the new cars come in. Back in my day, we had to crank the engine. Now we got fucking Rolls Royces and Phantoms and Maseratis and push the start. Back in my day, you had to put the goddamn key in. You had to wait till that engine warm up. Y'all got push to start. You can start the goddamn car from the what's the name, and that's the problem with the cars nowadays. Back in my day, everybody had to learn how to change your goddamn top. You niggas don't know shit. Back in my day, we had to same shit. Same shit, y'all. Same shit. The key to all this is releasing. Awareness breaks all spells. Folks who use it to big up the ego or for moral or intellectual superiority will look and behave like the fools that they are. Agreed. Agreed. And I would say to all of us, y'all, I would say to all of us, watch ourselves with that shit. We got to watch ourselves. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just observe yourself. We typically do that because that's kind of like the nature of human beings. We typically do that. Maybe not to that extent, which is obvious. That's specifically what Don Tree is pointing out. But we do it even on subtle levels. Just use it for a reference point to understand this how this human mind works. Because I went down earlier, me and my woman was talking about, we was in comparison talking about the Diddy thing. Now we use this for observational purposes only, scientific reasons only. The Diddy thing all the way down to the child and the parent thing. Manipulation is going on. Only difference from Diddy and the parent and the child is that Diddy has more age, his body has grown more, and he has more affluence or influence and more popularity. He's only doing the same thing that what you do to a child. You manipulate your child to get them to listen to do it. If you want ice cream, you have to sit down and do what I tell you to do. Or the child comes through and mommy, please, with the little sparkles in the eyes, big eyes all bubbly, and you're like, how can I tell this child no? The child is manipulating. You are manipulating the child. The same thing. But we don't want to classify it as the same thing because we think we're morally or intellectually better than P. Diddy. But it's the same thing, different degree. Like and unlike are the same. We have to that's the law of polarity. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like and unlike are the same thing. We have to observe ourselves. You think I don't do it? I do it. We do it. All of us do this shit. It's the same shit. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about decoding the fucking reality. Understanding the mind. Who the fuck can we sit there and really fucking judge, gang? Like on some real judgmental shit. on some real judgmental shit. I can sit here and say I don't like that shit. Yeah, I want to say that shit. No, I ain't doing that shit. But do I really hold an emotional superiority inside of myself that I'm better than that person because they chose to do this and do that? This is where the grace comes in at. This is where real compassion comes in at. This motherfucker's doing what the fuck human body minds do. We have to observe ourselves. We have to observe ourselves. And a lot of observing happens when you observe other people. So what? Is that wrong? Because you observe other people and you peeping the way that they do shit? Observing is not the problem. It's once you take it internally that you're better than somebody else. Like when I first started this YouTube shit, it was a nigga who, you know what I'm saying, tried to do little shit on social media and thought I was going to feed into it. I observed it and I peeped it, but I'm like, the only reason a motherfucker could be saying something is because, you know, with one thing, it could be that one thing where you got to be doing something right because somebody's saying something about it. Okay, I could have ran with that. But two is all a nigga could really be doing is trying to say, hey, I'm better. And fuck that YouTube nigga over there. Come watch me and be with me and deal with me. It's like that's all the motherfucker could really be doing. It's like that's what we're all doing around this motherfucker. Like even the thing about like with 21 Savage saying fuck the streets and so many people get mad at him saying saying fuck the streets, but when motherfuckers get murdered, innocent kids get killed and all of that type shit start happening, everybody saying the streets is stupid, the streets is this, that street life this and this and this and that, everybody crying tears and saying this and that, but now everybody saying fuck them. No, don't say fuck the streets. No, don't say fuck. Nigga, what? It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't around this bitch, around this motherfucker. But me, I used it to observe and see, like, oh, here's a chance for other people to say how superior they are. Peep it. Obviously, we're not saying they're not trying to say they're higher in morals, but they're still trying to say there's some standard of higher in archetype or whatever the fuck the case, whatever the right word may be to use. Oh, I'm really street. I ain't gonna never say fuck the streets like you because you not a real street nigga. A real street nigga ain't gonna never say fuck the streets. So you can't be a real street nigga. I'm a real street nigga. I never say fuck the streets. Everybody look at me. I'm really street. Humans cannot stop that shit. Just check yourself and make sure you don't be doing that shit. Even if you don't like some shit. Because it's gonna be shit you don't like. I don't like fucking seafood, but I'm not gonna have an emotional attachment in response to fucking crawfish. To the point where like, oh, I'm better than fucking crawfish. Fuck crawfish. I'll never be on no crawfish shit. I don't like fucking crack, but I'm not saying like, nigga, I'm better than crack rock, nigga. I'm better than heroin, nigga. Never, nigga. Nigga, never, nigga. Like, nigga, just don't do crack. Don't do heroin, nigga. Stay the fuck away from it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't know why the fuck I went that far, but let's see. Observe without judgment. That's right, Zero. That's it. Same thing. I agree. Don Tree says, very important to have compassion, be non-judgmental, and observe without attaching to the concepts or the patterns being observed. Facts. Facts. Well, let's talk about it. Fuck the streets is a beautiful. It's non-attachment and a cool ass phase. These folks going against are using the artist's past to justify their present awareness in his judgment. Facts, bro. That's all they're doing, bro. That's all they doing, bro. I didn't peep it. See, I come from that. So a nigga coming from the streets and choosing the streets as his lifestyle or feeling like he didn't even get the chance to choose it because it was happening in my home and outside of my home. So what the fuck? I feel like it wasn't no choice. So once I figured it and decoded and figured all that shit out, obviously my spiritual path started to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? There's no loyalty. There's no peace. You can't even get no money for real. Everybody's sliming everybody out. Women sliming niggas out, niggas sliming niggas out. It's like, the fuck is there to proud to be? And like me personally, obviously I've been out the street for a while now. So the thing about me is fuck the streets mentality. And I can even say literally fuck the actual street, the concrete and the street sign. Because I don't want so what about a fucking street sign and concrete? But you know, my people, the so-called people, my homies that's still in the streets, my family members that's still in I love them dearly. But their mindset, fuck it. Fuck it. It's a crab in a bucket mentality. It has to be. And when you get out, everybody's mad that you didn't get everybody out. Like, how is that even physically possible? Because that doesn't even make sense. This system, this world is built off of some make it and some don't. That's the world principle. That's what capitalism is. And that's the principle around the world. Some make it, some don't. Then you get some people who care to try to save more than some, a little bit over some. Then you get some people say, I don't give a fuck about saving none. And then who you really saving? All you do is having people get motherfucking money. They don't really save you. The real save you. Yes, it saved you from having living with roaches and living with gunshots, and you got to worry about people breaking in your crib, but it didn't save your mind. Just let's leave it on that type level. It didn't save your mind, brother. You still got the same mindset. It's the mindset that needs to be broken. What Zero say? It's funny because it's like playing a game and you get mad because you get killed or lose. Like, it's the man. It's just like, man, it's just a game. Don't cry. Facts. Facts, bro. Facts, Zero say, I love my people. Oh, put my mind, but fuck this mindset. That's so true. Thank you, my nose. I need to listen to that. Like, I love my people, but fuck the mindset. Same shit with so-called black culture. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, niggas, a lot of this shit that I do enjoy. But as a holistic, like, oh, black people don't do this and black people shouldn't do that. Man, fuck all of that shit. Fuck all that shit. If I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. If I don't want to do it, I won't fucking do it, and won't be held back by, oh, am I doing what the culture says? Am I living up to the culture? My culture I come from was, you know, man, whatever the streets got, because it was some good shit too. Family oriented, get with your family, have good time, laugh, joke. It may involve some smoking weed, some drinking liquor, whatever the case may be, some arguments, some fights. You know what I'm saying? This shit was still fun. This shit was still beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But behind all of that shit too is drugs, murder. You know what I'm saying? Egotistical fights in family that involve people getting hurt real bad or even death. People claiming one section of a neighborhood and other people claiming another section of a neighborhood and end up killing each other. It comes with getting policed by white police officers and even black police officers. Whooping my ass. You know how many times I got whooped by the police? Obviously, ain't been that many times, but about 2 to 3 times. And I got my ass whooped by the police. And times I'd have been in court in front of that judge who we feel is gonna judge me based off of my hair and my past and my skin color, nigga. That's just not fun, bro. Because that's the mindset we have to have into and adapt into. Everybody's out to get us. We're young black men. Everybody's out to get us. So we can't stay safe no more. We got to stay dangerous. My nigga. Yeah, it's a limited mind frame that justifies struggle, suffering, and competition by any means necessary. That's it. That's what the streets is right there. Don Tree cleaned it up. Observing you speaking on this, I can see how the effects of it affected you. Salute to you for remembering who you truly are. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. And appreciate that, bro. Real shit. Real shit. Yeah, because that's what I like to tell people. Like, you'll still see reminiscences of that shit in me. You know what I'm saying? I even catch myself doing certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still certain patterns have still been deeply ingrained. And like I like to say, bro, sometimes if you want to, you can go into a lot of those patterns and reframe them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my patterns have been reframed. I don't think the world is out to get me. There's nothing out to get me now. You see what I'm saying? But my jokes, my vernacular, the same where I say shit, the same where I hold my head, my lips cocked to the side when a nigga say shit like this. You'll still see reminiscences of it in there from that. And if you niggas was with me in person, you'll see even more. So the reminiscences of that may still be inside of that body mind complex. But ultimately, I know I am not that body mind complex. I'm the observer of that body mind complex. And that body mind complex comes from me, the self. With that being said, we're gonna let this be said. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Their prosperity doesn't just mean money. It means you have an opportunity. You have the opportunity to observe yourself, observe your one-sided thoughts, observe your body, your mind, your one-sided opinions. And when you do that, you will notice the detachment, because you'll see how a lot of foolish this shit is. How foolish a lot of this bullshit is. You'll see it. So once you observe the mind, once you observe your thoughts, once you observe your one-sided opinions, know that you are that observer that's observing all of that. And it's the motherfucking holidays, whether you celebrate or not, whether you too deep to celebrate and you're going to stay secluded, do that. I don't give a fuck. That's up to you. But I'm going to be making some motherfucking more banana pudding. Peace, love, and hair grease. Bitch.